Kelly Rogers reporting from Global Dev Week in New York. I've heard a lot about entrepreneurship and about harnessing the skills and the energy of youth in my interviews with everyone from UN leaders to chief information and innovation officers for the private sector. And so we asked them, what is their top advice for a young person today who wants to do social good in their life?
It's a hugely exciting time to be in international development because we are at a time where we can actually see the end of some of the things we talk about. We can see the end of extreme poverty. We can see the end of preventable, kids dying of things we can prevent. We can see the end of these things. And so to be a part of that, I would say over the next 10 to 15 to 20 years, and it will take us 15 years or so, but to be a part of that, I think I'm certainly looking for young people to come in and lead that. The other thing is really thinking about working at scale. We have so many people who are kind of out starting their own thing. And I think we need that innovation, we need the new ideas, but we've got to connect it to something that delivers at scale. Because if it's about 5,000 kids that I reach in this one county in one country, and that's all I can do with what I'm doing, it's good, but it isn't going to solve these problems. We have to connect it to things that can scale those great things that people are doing, and particularly young people are doing.
We need global citizens. We need people who can be culturally aware across geographic boundaries, across all kinds of different geographies, but also different hierarchies and different systems, and understand what global really means. And we need people who can communicate. We need people who can engage with other people, that can actually talk and bind and bring people together and energize and enthuse people. And that's what I believe younger people are looking for when they come into the industry. They want to make a difference.
Just get engaged as soon as you possibly can. Good ideas can come at any age. Implementation may take a little bit more experience, but being creative and having the experience of actually interacting with the people you want to work with, you can start when you're in high school. And I would say, particularly in the international space, it used to be really impressive that people had studied abroad or spent time abroad. Now, to get a job in this sector, it's table stakes. So don't wait. Do that as soon as you can. Study abroad when you're in college and high school, and make sure that you actually learn another language. And importantly, try to really understand a culture of a different society, because that's going to be something that job hirers are looking at.
We often think that the solutions are really simple, but they're not. Development work to be done properly, it is hard. You have to have training, you have to have an education, you have to have background, you have to be willing to ask the right questions. It's not as simple as just getting on a plane and hoping that you're going to do a good job, because unfortunately many corners of the world are really plagued by our misspent altruism from this side of the world. So ask those hard questions of yourself. Volunteer with an international organization locally, be in their office, run fundraising events for them, form a club at your school or university, so that you actually have a relationship with that group. You understand what they do, how they do it, why it matters. And from there, a lot of organizations, ourselves included, War Child USA, we hire people who have been volunteering for us, that we know and that we understand that they fully appreciate all of the important things that development is and how complicated it actually is.
I think these are times of unprecedented change, and you just need to be aware of a lot of what's going on around you. When I travel to emerging markets, young people there, like in Kenya, they use technology to transform their lives. I don't see that everywhere in the world the same way, and I think young people just need to be aware of all of the changes from a demographic point of view, what they can potentially do with technology to change their own lives and to also impact other lives. And once you're aware of that and you understand all of these business models and you understand that you are in the driver's seat, it's interesting to know that 70% of the kids in high school today will probably end up in a job that doesn't exist today. That means they're going to create it themselves. And if they create it with sustainability, social thoughts in the background to see how their work can really make a difference, both to society and their company, be it their own company or their employer, that's what I would advise them to do. Be aware of what you can do. There are endless possibilities.